Welcome back to the Bantu Exodus channel. Today we're going to be discussing Egypt, the myth, and the Bantu Expansion. How does that relate to each other and what does it mean to us? Well, let's just dive into it. Hopefully, today, a lot of you scholars and well seasoned people within the scripture are going to get a surprise. First of all, I want to make a statement. The place that we call Egypt today is not the Egypt of the biblical times that Moses took the people out of the land. I'm going to repeat this again. The place that the people today around the world, as a consensus, believe that the place on the map that is considered Egypt is the place that the Israelites were led out of by Moses and God himself. That is not true. What I won't be doing on this episode is going into what that place actually is, because that bombshell is actually bigger than the one that I'm dropping tonight. So let me state that for the third time. The Egypt that we know today is not the Egypt of the Bible. It is not the Egypt or the land that Moses led the Israelites out. Okay? So I just wanted to make that claim right off top. Let's dive into the scriptures and let's find out what's going on with me making that claim. The first thing we have to know is that the place that we're looking for is not called Egypt, but it is called Mizraim. All right? And this is a son of Ham. So what we need to be doing is looking for the land of Ham. For a lot of you scholars out there, you do know that the land of Ham, as far as a mainstream thought, is in the land of Africa. But then we say that the land of Japheth and Shem would be, Shem would be in the land of Saudi Arabia, and Japheth would be towards the northern eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea on upwards towards Europe. That's a lie. That is a total lie, and we need to debunk that in the future. But tonight what I'm going to concentrate on is just Egypt, which is Mizraim. Where is the land of Mizraim, which is actually allotted under the land of Ham? Okay, so when Ham was allotted his land was also allotted to his children. Okay, so we need to know where the land of Ham is specifically at in Africa, being that we have been told a lot of lies according to the maps. I want to give a special shout out to Robert Sanders, and I want to give a special shout out to Truth Unveiled 777. I hate to inform people, but that channel has been taken down. If you don't already know, he paid the price for taking the truth and pushing it forward to the people. I learned a great deal from him, and Mr. Robert Sanders is coattailing him, and as we speak, is probably studying right now for another class in order for us to get the map straight. But one thing that I'm seeing out there, as we're awakening to the fact that Israel is not placed correctly on the map, and a lot of lies have been told, as we're going through the red tape, I still see a mistake out there that was brought to me by the Spirit, and I believe tonight is my night to go ahead and bring the information out about the real place that Moses actually exited the people from, and that place is not called Egypt. I'm gonna repeat it two more times. The place that Moses, led the people out of is not called Egypt. Let's get into that. First of all, biblical meaning of the word Egypt. Biblical meaning of the word Egypt.
According to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, biblical Egypt, land of refuge, land of bondage.
All right. So, as a Hebrew idiom and as a Hebrew term for a place of bondage, they would call it Egypt. So, first of all, let's get rid of the myth. Any place that is a place of bondage would be considered a Egypt. America, for us Bantu people, can consider America a Egypt. Is it the Egypt that was spoken of, or the Mizraim land that was spoken of in the Bible? No, it isn't. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first thing I want to do is take my tablet here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with the mainstream and just ask them, what do they have to say? A map of the allotted land of Ham, Japheth, and Shem.
These pictures should match.
So they're going to give us pictures. Okay, so we need to see these pictures in order to believe in these myths. All right. This, I'm going to choose the most prominent one that people fall in love when they first start studying. All right. If I can just get this placed right. Okay. If you can see, oh, well, you can't see. Well, anyway, if you go to Google and ask them for the map, you're going to see that Ham is placed in Africa, Shem is placed in Arabia, Saudi Arabia, and Japheth is actually placed in Eastern Europe. Okay. The Ham part is correct, where Japheth and Shem is placed on this map is totally wrong. What they did was they hooked Japheth and Shem out of Africa and put them in the position to make the maps fit. Now, when you look at the map, Ham is in its correct position, but the children actually went out on an expansion from where Ham settled at and went to the west coast of Africa. All right. So, how do we know that Ham and his descendants actually end up on the west coast of Africa? Well, let's stick with the Bible story. The Israelites, the Bantu people, came out of the land of so-called Egypt, which is the land of Mizraim. All right. As you can see, the Gentile map places Ham in North Africa. But we also know that Mizraim was a son of Ham. So wherever Mizraim is where the Israelites or the Bantu people came from, right? Now, when we come out of Mizraim, which the world calls Egypt, it obviously starts our expansion into the land of Canaan. Does it not? Is that not the biblical story? So, now that we got that out of the way, let's check out the map of the Bantu expansion. See, sometimes you can catch the thief with what they stole, but sometimes when they steal something, they only steal a little bit of it and keep the rest in order to keep track, but in order to lose track of the spiritual connotation of a people. If you got what I said. No, that was weird. So let's go here. Bantu expansion. I'm gonna go to the most famous map. I want you to do also. I wanted to show you in this video, but I can't. So just go to Google. I want you to go to Bantu expansion, and I want you to pull the map, the most prominent map with the red dot that you see in the Ivory Coast. All right. Now, once you get there, I want you to look at something. See, sometimes your enemy is going to tell you half truths and whole truths and no truths. But in this particular instance, this map, the Bantu expansion map, is totally correct. But we need to correlate what's actually true, the Bantu expansion map, and we need to actually correlate it to the Bible. Now, let me stop. Once again, Mr. Robert Sanders, Truth Unveiled 77, did a wonderful job breaking the ice on trying to reset the biblical places to the actual land. What we need to do is take Egypt back now, okay? Because it's the final key to the map, all right? If Mizraim is a son of Ham, then his allotted land would fall in the portion of Ham's land, which is North Africa. Where did Mizraim go in order to establish the land that Moses led the people out of? It's right in your face, been in your face for years while you've been studying. The Bantu expansion map. It tells us that we come out of Nigeria. Also, I want you to know that Nigeria and Niger are the same ancient land. All right. So hopefully by far, I want you to do something for me. I want you to stop. I want you to take your third eye. I want you to lose the word Egypt. Throw it away. I want you to say to yourself that the land that Moses led the people out of was never called Egypt by birthright or founding father. Okay? Excuse me. So, what I want you to do is actually incorporate the name Mizraim. All right? When you do that, you actually come back within the truth of Ham's son. And knowing that Ham portion fell within the warmest part of Africa by the, and we'll just leave it at B, being that the information came out of the book of Jubilees, and some people believe in it and some people don't. But let's just say that information is true. Then we would see that Ham's portion is actually correct according to the map. But then he had sons. So his portion of land would also have to accommodate his son, Mizraim. Okay? All right. Now, he establishes his land, But in order to find his land, we have to find our expansion from the land through Moses. If you look, it's the key. The key is the Bantu expansion map. The red dot that you see, especially on the most prominent map up here, lets you know that the red dot is right before a river. A lot of people get stuck on this Red Sea thing. No, river reeds on the narrow part of the river blew on the river all that night and kept it. No, come on, people, you gotta be kidding me. All right, let's just say it was the Nile River, as they say. What sea did they escape to? What sea are they talking about? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't even make any sense when you're on the Nile River. Do you get what I'm saying? And then where are they going? Like, what? It doesn't even make any sense. In order for you to have an origin as a people, we as a nation, you see, we was a people, but when we started having an origin as a nation and we came out as a migration from Mizraim, we started becoming a nation and started taking over the land, which was called the Bantu Expansion. So you realize when you're looking at the Bantu Expansion map, the red dot that you see the start of the Bantu Expansion coming from is the place that Moses started taking the people from, Pharaoh. I say this again. Let's dive into the scriptures. Hey, you make a big claim, so let's get into it. All right. Now that we know Egypt is considered the land, a land of refuge and a land of bondage, meaning that it had more than one meaning. So it lets you know right there that this was a title that you can give to any land, depending on how the Hebrews or the Bantu people felt about it. Hopefully you're catching that part. All right. Acts chapter 13:1. I want you to catch something. Now there was a church that was in Antioch, certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that were called Niger. You know, I want you to wake up today. The reason why they were called Niger is not because Niger means black and they was calling them black. That's some white person, Gentile, telling you a bald-faced lie that they learned from and inherited from their fathers. They call them Niger because that's where they were from. I'm going to repeat this again. You think that word, nigger, just popped out of nowhere when we came over here from that place. Alright? You think, I want you to look it up. You think that that area is called Negro land for no reason at all? No. They called them that because they knew that that was a land. Niger was a land then, and it's a land now. The people over there tell you, but we don't listen to our people. We don't listen to the people on the land. We listen to Gentiles. We regurgitate their education that they gave us. Niger is a ancient place. The city of Damascus was the epicenter of Niger. Nigeria and Niger are the same land. All right. Let's get into something else. We also need to know, watch this, Acts 21:38. Speaking of Paul, Acts 21:38. Aren't ye the Egyptian who started a revolt that led 4,000 terrorists out into the wilderness some time ago? Listen to me. These people are talking to Paul, are using the Hebrew idiom Egypt for Niger. See if you catch it. See, I'm not trying to be so professional on this video. What I'm trying to do is just make sure that this information gets out, because it's the last piece. I don't care who takes this information. Just go do your own research and slow it down again. Acts 21 verse 38. Aren't you that Egyptian who started a revolt and led 4,000 terrorists into the wilderness some time ago? Paul was accused of being an Egyptian, but we just went over that Egypt can be used to call any place a land of refuge and a land of bondage. Abraham went into Egypt. Jacob, Joseph, Christ, they all went into Egypt. But they all went into a place of bondage, or did they go into a place where it was a refuge for them? Okay, during the time of Herod, Christ and his mother and father went to Egypt because it was a place of refuge. But there was a Pharaoh in the time of Moses and after Joseph that did not know the Most High or have reverence and honor towards Joseph. And guess what? They were in bondage. So sometimes a place singular, can be a place of fortitude, safety, refuge. It could be a place of oppression, slavery, torment, demonic, all types of things. So we have to get away from the little nursery rhyme myths that we were taught by Mendele, by the white folk, by the Gentiles, by the Arabs, by the Indians, not native. We have to come away from it. So trust me, Gentiles will give you the truth, but then I'll give you the physical truth of where you came from. Bantu Expansion. Spiritual truth of where you came from. Oh, nope, we'll change it all the way around. Change all the biblical maps around. Swing Japheth and Shem to our lands in order to bring to life our life. So once again, this video is not about being professional and sharp. I want to give you the truth because it's the final piece. Doesn't matter who takes this video and the information in it. Do what you want to do with it as long as the people receive it. The Egypt that they call Egypt today is not the biblical Egypt. And it also is, in a sort of way, it is a spiritual place of bondage biblically, but it is not the biblical Mizraim Egypt that Moses exited the people from to go into the land of Canaan through the conquest of Joshua, Saul, David, Solomon, and others. We also need to know this too. It was quite surprising to me that this came up, and I want to take my time. Deuteronomy speaks of a prophecy that I will take you into Egypt again. Let's just look into that. I hate to tear down these walls, but I have to. They need to be done. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies as bondmen and bondwomen, and no one shall buy you. I've heard people teach this. I've always felt something was a little off. Let's get into it. No, it is not America. This prophecy is not speaking of I'm going to bring you into a place of bondage again, and it's going to be America. Did you look at the red dot on the Bantu Expansion map? It's in the Ivory Coast where we were sold at. If that red dot is the actual Mizraim land and the Egypt that was of the Bible, guess what? I actually brought you into Egypt again and sold you to the Americans and to the islands by ship. See if you catch it. I'll slow down and be quiet for a while, because I hate to do this to people who's been teaching certain things and we was all led astray. Let's get it right. The Egypt that is on the map today is a lie, purposely pushed. They know what that place is, and I'm not willing to reveal it on this video. But it is not the Egypt or the Mizraim land, the son of Ham of the Bible, the place that Moses led the Israelites / the Bantu people out of. It is not that place. Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. Barnabas and Simeon was called Niger, not nigger. Niger does not mean black. It means what it is. It means the place Niger. Okay? So we have to realize that the actual name of the place that Moses came out of is not in the Bible. I'll slow down, let people judge me. The actual name of the place that Moses actually took out, the actual name of the place that Moses took the people out of is not in the Bible, but except in like 2 instances, and we already went over one, and that's Niger. You ask anybody in the country Niger and Nigeria, how long that name been around? Forever. So ask yourselves, when you go back in your memory and look at the teachings that you've been taught, it's the last piece. It's the last piece to the puzzle on the map. I shall bring you into Egypt again and sell you as bondwomen and bondmen, and no one shall buy you. Now, wait a minute, you talking about we were sold in the Atlantic slave trade. Yeah, we was sold in that trade. So what about that part? Nobody will buy you. Nobody will redeem you. As a Hebrew idiom, when you get ready to go up, somebody can come up and redeem you. Nobody's gonna buy you. We have to get mature about this spirituality and know what's going on. When it says, here we go again, and the Lord shall bring you into actual Mizraim again with ships, by the way thereof I spoke to thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We don't read correctly because we read ignorantly because of our education level. I hate to say that. Watch this. I'm going to catch you on something. And the Lord shall bring thee into Mizraim, not Egypt, again, with ships. How is that not possible? For its bondage. But yet it's a double fold because you're talking to the Most High. Guess what? I'm actually going to bring you into the land of your captivity that Moses brought you out of. And when you get there, you're going to be on slave ports going out to the shoreline to go into ships and actually be sold off to the Gentiles in the four corners of the earth. If you can believe that. Let's go over the information again. The Egypt that's on the map is a lie in order to swing Japheth and Shem out of the land of Africa. Look at the Bantu Expansion map. The red dot is right before the river that Moses parted. I don't know how it became the Reed Sea instead of the Reed River. I don't know. We have to watch these people. Another thing is, Paul was considered an Egyptian, but Barnabas and Simeon were considered Niger. It's a slip of translation. They kept it in one, lost it in the other in order to confuse. But let me tell you this. They were not called Niger because it means black. It is a lie, because then that puts it not a place but a thing. Okay? That's the whole big lie. Niger meaning black. No, Niger meaning the place of the Egyptians. The place of bondage. The people, the Hebrews, the Hebrew, the Bantu people came out of. You have to realize that story is world famous in the times then in Africa because of the spectacular way that Tata Nzambe Yamazulu delivered the people through Moses. Be quiet for a moment and let it sink in. Egypt that's on the map today is not the Egypt of the Bible. Niger is the place of the Bantu Expansion, which would have to be the place of Egypt, the place of our bondage. And there was a Pharaoh who knew not Joseph and actually afflicted the Israelites. And thus the story begins. So now, re-look at the Bantu Expansion map. Go to it again. Need some time. Look at the red dot. Look at the river right before it. The river of reeds that they crossed. And then look at the rest of the story. The conquest of Joshua, Caleb, and through the judges all the way to Solomon. Hopefully you guys can see that. Just one more thing. Give you a special style out there for you people who love studying. Research it. The river of Egypt talked about so much, especially in the book of Isaiah, is the Niger River. Okay? So hopefully I can see it. So yeah, the Nile River. So let me tell you guys this, because I know you're gonna ask this in the comment section. If somebody asks in the comment section, so what is the Nile River? That's a whole nother class, but I'm just gonna give it to you straight up right now. But I'm gonna prove it in another class. The Nile River is the actual biggest and greatest river of Africa, and that would make it, in context, the Great River Euphrates. So yes, the Niger River is the river of Egypt, And the Nile River is the great river Euphrates that runs through, whatever, the whole of Africa or Ethiopia. With that, hopefully, guys, y'all got something out of this. Hopefully, it's a revelation to you that you needed. Hey, I knew something was a little off. Yes, Egypt on the map today is not the biblical Egypt. Nigeria area, and a little surrounding areas in there made up the land of Egypt. If you go back and look at it with the work of Truth Unveiled 777, even though they took his channel down, and Robert Sanders, spelt just like that, Robert, ROBERTSANDERS, Sanders, go to his channel. He's already doing great work. But the last thing that needs to be done is actually take Egypt back from the Gentiles, actually put it back in the land of Ethiopia. Africa is Ethiopia, if people didn't know that by now, and actually put it in its allotted land of Ham for his son, and actually know that Egypt, the place of bondage that the Bantu people were in, were the southern portion of Nigeria or Niger. So before the Gentiles, it was Niger. All right, the land of Niger. And after we came out of the land of Niger, we went into the interior of Ethiopia, not sub-Saharan Africa, the interior of Ethiopia. All right. So with that, hopefully y'all got something. Hopefully I opened some eyes to a big truth that we needed to go further with when it comes to these maps, and certain information is coming out in these last days. With that, man, hopefully y'all got something special out of this. See you back on the Bantu Exodus channel. Hallelujah. Love you guys, and get to. Amen.